Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my RP life. Follow me on Twitter. Join me on Facebook. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because this platform was created for you, the blind and visually impaired community, so that you can share your stories and what you go through. I am your host, Juan. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my RP Life podcast.
I'm going to talk about me, my entrepreneurial journey. How does this legally blind person determined to excel, set up a business from scratch? The Diva. This shirt was sponsored by Shan's Talent Tees. Diva means I independent, V Vibesy, and back in 2018, thanks to some UTech students who came over by the Office of Special Student Services and they did a project, they chose me and a couple of others to assist them in their project. While I was doing that, I conceptualized, I prayed, I asked myself questions, I spoke with lecturers, my family, friends, everyone. What did they think about this business idea? Is it going to work? Because as an entrepreneur, you have to go out there and do research. An entrepreneur is that person who conceptualizes, visualizes, write down, dream about their product or service. I did that. That's how the Culturama with Diva podcast was born. On June 7th, Creative Minds Business Development Services was also born. The target audience is persons with special needs. But apart from that, we cater to the wider public as well. So what are some of the products or services we offer? Podcasting courses, audio editing production, true Jamaican style, true Jamaican fashion. We want to enter, you get value for your money because your money matters. We also offer public speaking courses, motivational speaking services, and so much more. So come, take your brand and we will put it into the world's hands. We want to hear from you, true Jamaican style. So come guys, as an entrepreneur you have to dream big, think big. It was Norman Vincent Peale who says, when you affirm big, believe big, and pray big, God will show up in your life. And that's what he did for me. I got little job experience over the summer back in 2019, and with that experience I'm able to monetize, analyze, manage my own business as a blind person. Some of the stereotypes I get are, you can't do it, you don't deserve this, you don't deserve that, and she blind, she can't do it, why are you here? Thanks to the Jamaica National Youth Service for employing us in different job spaces, but that's not enough. We need more jobs. I've applied to so many places and they turn me down. I say, you know what? Let me start my business from scratch. I have received so many positive reactions throughout my business and I'm really happy to meet so many people all over the world and it's just truly amazing. I'm really thankful and grateful, and with God as guide, I will continue to seek the best. So this is Princess Tia. Blessings. Woo! To the world. Look at this beauty queen, this always confident diva. This is my independent mark.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to my RP Life. I am your host, Juan, and I have a special guest on today. But before we get started, please subscribe to me on YouTube at my RP Life. Follow me on Twitter. And join my Facebook group, My RP Life Family and Friends. And my beautiful diva Deb is the main admin, like I always say in the beginning of my podcast. Mwah, I love you, baby. And I have a special guest on today. Her name is Princess Tia. And she also does Anchor. She has her own podcast and she's on YouTube. So welcome, Princess Tia.
Hi, thank you for having me. Good to be here.
Thank you for being on my podcast. I really appreciate you being here today. My question, like I tell everyone, are you blind or visually impaired?
I am visually impaired, so I have little vision.
And what is the name of your eye condition?
It's called retinal detachment.
Retinal detachment.
Yes.
I gotta pick up the volume just a tiny bit. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so, and you was born that way?
No, it was due to medical negligence. This is a famous case, and this case is a landmark in that other judges and lawyers uses it to make reference to other medical negligence matters. So basically, in a nutshell, the doctor in the hospital did not check my eyes, and as such, my eyes got damaged based on the incubator stage.
Okay. So this happened to you very young as a baby? Then?
Yes. Newborn.
So was it like too much oxygen in the incubator that?
No, the oxygen wasn't the issue. The issue was that they didn't place a special lighting over my eyes to protect it from seeping through, but they ignored, and my parents was asking what was going on. My parents found out that I had a visual challenge, and the doctors didn't bring it to their attention, so they discovered it. And when I did lots of tests, I reached stage 4. There are different stages: stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stage 1, 2, and 3, meaning that the vision could have possibly been saved. But stage 4, too late.
And like, do you see more in like either your left eye or right eye, or?
So I see nothing in my left eye, but I see a little bit in my right eye. I see colors, people, places, objects, that sort of stuff, but I can't see to read print or my steps, so I depend on the very good white cane.
Okay. And can you say it one more time, the name of the eye conditions for the audience?
It's called retinal detachment.
Retinal detachment, okay. And as a child, like, did you or your parents have like problems going to school?
Yes, I did not go to school for the blind like everybody else. So, my parents, my father particularly, he was looking all around the island of Jamaica, different schools to see if they can take a person with a special need, and they refused. But one particular school decided to do an assessment on me, and there they took me in. And, I was just performing regularly as an able-bodied person, twice as much, so I was just going on and going on and going on and going on really well until I finished the infant stage, and then I went on to the high school stage. Then I went on to the university. Before I get to university, let me just backtrack a bit and say that high school was pretty difficult at some point, because the high school I went to, they only were able to accommodate physical challenged person, not a visual challenged person. So they had to do some research. We had to call some persons in to explain, who is a visual challenged person, the different aids that they will need, equipment, that sort of thing. And, my parents was able to equip me with the equipment and the school as well. And I was just going on pretty fine.
Right. Oh, okay. And so you got help though from the schools that you was going to after time?
Yes, I got help. My parents also supplied the help because, in Jamaica, as we speak now, and the Caribbean, but in Jamaica, the Disabilities Act was last amended in 2014. And in that act, it speaks about work, school, labor and social security, insurance, health, and it's not revised like in the US. You have the what do you call it, ADA, hope I got it correct, American Disabilities Act. So it's not revised like we have the American Disabilities Act. So, I have very supportive parents who assisted me along my journey. And there are other persons who have different challenges. They have supportive parents, but not everybody have supportive parents. So
Right.
I'm just thankful for what I have.
Right, exactly. Yep, definitely. So as time goes on, you then go off to college, right?
Yes.
Awesome. And was it even better for you there, or there wasn't no like struggles there, having to learn new things and stuff like that?
Okay, it was better for me there and struggles. Two
Okay.
categories.
Right.
Now, as I said to you before, I didn't go school for the blind like other persons did.
Right.
So my independent level was pretty delayed. So I learned to be independent at university.
Right.
So I learned how to use the white cane at university. I can give you an instance. One night, my father was picking me up from classes, and I was leaving the Office of Student Services, and I had my white cane, but in my bag. And I was walking towards the vehicle. Instead of walking straight towards the vehicle, I walked like to my left and fell in a trench and hurt my chest. So that was like, 2-3 weeks away from school.
Wow.
And I said, you know what, God, I'm going to learn this white cane. So I learned about the white cane. I used it. Well, let me just say back in the 8th grade of high school, I learned the computer. 8th grade, 9th grade, I learned the computer. So that's why I became tech savvy and even tech savvy now. So I learned Braille, but honestly speaking, I know the basics of Braille. So to get me to learn Braille, that I have to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, because my mind has to get back to where it is in order to learn the Braille.
Right.
And it's a useful thing, because I know you listened to my podcast with Mr. Barry Shire,
Yeah.
and I think I asked the question, or was it part 2? I think I asked him the question, do you think persons are drifting away from the Braille now and moving towards technology? And he said yes, because, although Braille is a useful tool, we have lots more things in store, but we can't forget the good old Braille,
Right.
and we shouldn't.
Right.
So hence why you have Braille displays and all that stuff. So, so as I was saying, college now, I learned how to use the white key, number one. I learned how to get my independence, how to improve on my accessibility on the road, pedestrian crossing, and also ask for help. Although we had the Office of Special Student Services, that's a facility where those who are blind or visually impaired access that unit to get extra help for exams, volunteer assistance, all that. So it's a home away from home.
Right.
And, I appreciate all that. My father would also assist me in classes, in terms of late night classes. And my dad should be at work. He said, no, I want to help you to the best of my ability. And I really appreciate it to the bone.
Right.
So, I failed a couple of courses, especially financial management, because those were rough courses. Those are math courses.
Right.
Because my area of study is entrepreneurship. And I'm more taught how to create, think, innovate, all those words you can use.
Right.
A business idea in order to be released to the public for consumption,
Right.
for utilizing. And you have to know what's called financial management, which is like bonds and stocks and ratios and yield and time and this and that. I'm like, what the hell? So
Yeah.
and I also do what is called economic statistics. I have to know about probability and binomial distribution and this and that. And in the US and other developed countries, you would have laws and different tactile stuff, but in Jamaica and the Caribbean, total rubbish. It's ridiculous. But are getting there. Let me just say, we are getting there. We have a far way to go, but we are getting there. And I passed those courses. I also did law courses. Yes, I did. Because of my area of study and work now, I have to do different areas of law to pull up my socks and get myself acquainted. And law is a course that you have to read lots of cases, as you have heard from Mr. Barry Shire, who's also a blind attorney. I'm going to try and get him for you. Always a busy man. I can't even get it myself. But the point I'm making is there's also a lady who has her first degree in music and the performing arts. She also has the same visual challenge like me, and she's also doing the law now with another degree, and she's on the disciplinary committee role.
Wow.
Or should I say the dean of disciplines, what do you call it now? I don't know. I'm like, how did she reach there? And law is, of course, as I said, you have to read. Yeah. No, I love to read, but I'm not that person who will read, but trust me, I do it because I have to read. I'm a journalist. I have to know what's going on in the world, society.
Right.
So, but for her to read more, I'm like, wow, Gabby, that's a big hit. I rate you big time. So, I got a little dose of COVID in terms of online learning and during the COVID-19 pandemic, because I had to get voluntary assistance online. And it was kind of tedious because, this person doesn't have any internet, that person's internet is moving slow. So I kind of was falling back, but I picked up and I passed my courses and now I have my degree.
That's awesome. That's real nice. I like that. That was the other question. I had it while you was talking. I lost it now. Okay, so what inspired you to? Okay, so that journey that you took from all the way from being a child, going to school, going to high school, and then finishing college, like, going through those things in your life, did it make you want to even pursue more into getting into getting the word out there with your like podcasting and stuff, and that's why you started podcasting and stuff like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's cool. What else I got for you? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Speechless, I know.
Yeah,
Speechless.
because I'm listening to you. Oh, yeah, and you said you also studied like bilingual, right? You can speak Spanish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Buenos tardes, los todos. Yeah.
And is that the only like other language? You got any other languages you?
No, just Spanish.
Just Spanish.
I went to Panama a couple years back.
Oh.
And
okay.
I didn't forget my Spanish at that time, but I love my Spanish.
Yeah.
And even when I'm in clubhouse, I jump across lots of Spanish books to get back my groove and speak the language, and so I love it, and it's helping me where I am today.
Yeah, that's good, because like, even if you like be around other people who speak it, you even learn more, so and that's good though. That's good. You learn Spanish. Oh yeah, that's another thing. You don't use a guide dog, right?
The other day somebody asked in a WhatsApp group, do you think guide dogs are needed back in Jamaica? We had a couple of guide dogs way back before I was born. Right. But never again, because they don't want them in their cars, they don't want them in the transportation system, they don't want them in the banks, supermarkets, so you can forget about guide dogs in Jamaica and the Caribbean.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I mean, I would love a guide dog, but I have to be in Australia or the United States to get my guide dog.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Would you ever plan on like moving to the United States one day, or like anywhere else?
Yes. Okay, let me speak about that. All right, I'm not going to promote any negativity here, but I just want you guys to really listen what I'm saying, because the Caribbean is a wonderful place for you to visit.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
It
place.
is.
Yeah.
But please, I urge of you to bring somebody who is sighted, because the accessibility here is poor. The job market here is poor. Notice I said earlier on that All Disabilities Act was last amended in 2014, and we are in what, 2021?
Yeah.
And I have to use some real life scenarios, because you know, this is where I am today. One of the questions you asked was that I do podcasting. How did I end up in podcasting real quick? Back in 2018, I was thinking about a product or service trying to launch, trying to come up with, and a couple of students came from the media department. They were studying media, and they were doing a project on disabled persons, and I decided to volunteer and so what was it like and all that stuff with the cameras and cut and action and this and that. I'm like, oh wow, this is what I love. So I landed myself in the media world.
Right.
And I started conceptualizing, analyzing, and speaking to lecturers, talking to my parents, talking to my friends, well-wishers, everybody about an idea. And that's how my podcast started. And, you know, a big shout out to my mentor, Mr. Wilbert Williams. He's another one I wanted to interview. I'll get for you. He was one who had the first guide dog owner in Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
He studied physiotherapy, yes, in London, England. And he would tell the story of the guide dog thing in Jamaica, why it was banned and all that stuff.
Okay.
So, you know, he really mentored me, and that's how Cultural with Diva was formed. KULCHARAMA with Diva. DIVA. Now, diva, as most people know, is like hot girl stuff, you know, this and that. But in this state, in this age, in this meaning, the word diva means determined, independent, vibesy, and awesome at what I do. It's because of my own life story, my experiences, and I want to build on Diva, that personal brand, so people can really know who I am. So. And that's how my business was also formed. Creative Minds, Business Development Services. You know, my target audience is persons with special needs, but I give to the wider public as well. Still job hunting, but I feel like I found myself in a place where I can, you know, stay back and build on my business. So we don't get no such thing as Social Security, no such thing as Medicare, no such thing as special insurance benefits for persons with special needs. We have to go twice as hard and get what we really want. Job market is rough. I've applied to many places here in Jamaica, and the result is just nope. Wow. So I said, okay. Yeah.
Have you ever tried online jobs instead of like?
Yes, I have tried online jobs. The same thing is, remember, you know, we have to use our computers and our software, JAWS and NVDA. And remember, that's not every website is compatible with JAWS or NVDA.
Right.
So I know the Jamaica Society for the Blind was partnering with this thing called Internet Income that does voice-over trainings and all that stuff. I hop onto that job pretty late. So let me go somewhere else. That was not in my league. I hop onto that job pretty late.
Right.
Because I have some internet issues. But the point I'm making is we have to go twice as hard as to what we really want in this life.
Right, exactly. Even here too, you gotta keep fighting and keep motivating yourself and give yourself as much positivity.
But I want to encourage you all, because I know you all have their social security stimulus check packages. I want to say to you guys, I know it's not much, but it was Oprah Winfrey who said, be thankful for what you have, for you will end up having more. But if you are not thankful for what you don't have, you will never ever have enough. Because we would want what you have right now.
Right.
Believe me.
Yeah. Like even here in the US, like with Social Security disability and even with SSDA, I think it's called, for people who worked like over 10 years or even more.
Right.
Like, even with that, like, if you think about it, if you're not in a low income Section 8 or some low income housing, you're not going to be able to afford rent, because you got to think of the light, the gas, and all this other stuff.
Yes.
So it's like with me, I live in low income housing with me and my mother. We're both on disability, and we don't pay light, we don't pay gas, we don't pay none of that, no water or nothing, because we live in the projects, you know. So it's all low.
We have to pay gas. We have to pay water. Even we go supermarket, we have to ask for help. Sometimes they don't want to help us. They want to, so so we have what is called the wholesale, where we go and get the stuff in bulk, so it's cheaper for us. So
right.
There are pros and cons, but we find our way around it.
Right. So like here, if you're not living in a low income housing, it'll be a struggle for a person who's on a disability check, because without Section 8 or HUD or stuff like that, if these other homes that are like not in low income and they don't accept those things, then you got to go and move to low income housing, and that's all it takes, a process, because to apply for those things here, sometimes it'll take a year or two, or if you're living with someone, then you can use their address, but you still have to wait,
Right.
So it's all a process, it's a struggle here too.
Right, I know.
So.
It's a struggle everywhere.
It's a struggle everywhere.
Everywhere.
And some people get frustrated, they go crazy.
Yes.
And stuff like that. So and your business that you're starting now, like, was it based on like are you like trying to sell merchandise? Like, what type of small business is it?
Okay, so it's a small business, mostly services. Merchandise is not yet in it as yet. That's coming up soon. But it's a service-based business, in which I do podcasting, motivational speaking, computer classes, business training, all that stuff.
Okay. All right, that's good. What else I was gonna ask you? So like, you've been doing podcasting since 2018, right? And
2019.
2019. Oh, okay. And like, what I was gonna say, like, with your podcasting, when you first started, do you feel like it was difficult, or since you already had?
Yes, it was difficult, because to find the right tools, equipment, the microphone, and I was using an Android at the time. So the Android was a bit more difficult than the iPhone. So I had to be doing this, doing that. But now, the more time I spend, the more dedication. You see, you have to have the passion for what you want and love.
Right.
When you have the passion, you're good to go. So it was difficult back then, but now it's okay, and you have lots of sites, different podcasting hosting platforms that you can host your podcast. But is every one of them accessible?
Nope.
Maybe not. So we have to dig deeper and see which one is accessible for the listeners and ourselves as the host.
Right. Yeah, because with me, when it comes to editing, because like right now we're doing this podcast, I'm recording it on my Android phone, and I have my iPhone connected to my stereo. So it's like I get the sound from the stereo transferred over to my microphone. I have the Yeti microphone. It's a studio mic.
Blue Yeti, yes.
Yeah, I have the Blue Yeti microphone, and then I have that microphone connected to the recorder of my Android, because I still haven't figured out yet how to like edit my audio off of my iPhone yet. So I'm still figuring it out, girl. I'm still figuring it out. But and I still gotta learn my laptop. Like
Yes, you learn in time.
yeah, so I still gotta do that. I already know how to record audio on my laptop. Now I just gotta figure out how to edit the audio on my laptop. You know, and then, and transfer it over to video. You know, so but everything I do is on my iPhone and on my Android. So. You know, all the editing, my videos for YouTube, all of that stuff. Yeah. So do you have anything else you would like to share, you know, so people can know a little bit more about you?
Yes, sure. First thing, for those who are starters of podcasts, beginners, start basic. Now you're gonna see lots of people with different mics, different this, different that. So don't focus on that. Focus on you. Focus on your content. I first started out with my laptop, my Android phone, but now I have my iPhone and other equipment. And even so, you don't have to go extravagant to get lots of equipment.
Right.
But that's up to you. But the basic things you must get are as follows: an iPhone, an iPad, and a Samsung tablet, a switchboard. A switchboard or soundboard is a board that has like different buttons. You can edit the podcast, that's sound effects, it has recording, a Blue Yeti mic. Get a Blue Yeti mic, get a sensible headset. You can get a P6, a Logitech. What else? Get a memory card, a hard drive, a good laptop, and you are good to go. Another thing is look at different podcasting platforms, especially those that are accessible for those who are blind, visually impaired. YouTube, Anchor, Libria, Lipson, you know, those are a few, but there are some free, some are paid. So if you want to go free, go on Anchor. That's where everybody is right now. Anchor. Well, and YouTube. So you have to know what you're about.
Right.
Another thing is, you know, be yourself. Be who you are. Showcase your true talent, your true content.
Right.
And a general advice now to everybody is the world is your stage. Own it. Whether you are a chef, whether you are a podcaster, whether you are just a regular person, whether you're a career professional or not, just own it. You are your own boss. You know, allow for people to link up with you in a positive way.
Right. Yeah. I gotta get me one of those that soundboard.
The soundboards?
Yeah, I gotta get me one for the sound.
That's like $600, but you can get it.
Yeah, like my cousin got one and he paid like $700 and something. He was like, well, Anthony, you can do a bunch of stuff on this thing. He's like, you need to get one of those. I was like, yeah, but that's too much, man. You know, I'm gonna have to get one that's either pre-owned or refurbished or something.
Nah, get a brand new one. Don't get any refurbished because
that's the same thing.
After the long run, you don't know what can happen.
Yep, he told me the same thing.
Get a brand new one.
Yep, he said the same thing. He's like, don't you even do it. Yeah, he was like, no, you best off just saving up the money and getting yourself a new one. Yep. So, hold on. Let me see how many minutes we are in right now. Let's see here. 29 minutes. Okay, cool. Hold on. Okay, cool. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for any background noise, but y'all know I live in the city and they're doing construction work. But yeah. So would you like to give any shout outs to anyone you know? Any friends?
Yes, shout out to you and your girlfriend. Continue to keep up the good work. Continue to manage your clubhouse, your group. That's a lot of hard work, but you guys remain strong. Especially during this COVID, we see lots of relationships splitting up, breaking up, going up, wobble. So remain, together as best as possible, and just continue to have faith in the Most High. Shout out to my family, my friends, my fans. thank you so much for listening and watching. Your voice matters. I want to hear from you. You can reach out to me via email. That's KREATIVEMINDS.JA@gmail. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. Culture One with Diva. That's KULCHARANA space with space Diva. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Diva Williams _creative. You can find me on Facebook at Creative Vines _JA. That's it.
All right. Oh, do you? Because I remember you said about your YouTube channel, and you did a thing in Jersey, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So you want to let them know about that?
Okay. Sure. Thank you for endorsing it big time. So I have entered a competition, a beauty pageant, more of an empowerment pageant in Newark, New Jersey, hosted by the non-profit organization called Eyes Like Mine Incorporated. It's a 501c3 non-profit. So I'm the first person to enter this competition representing myself, Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the world, in particular in Jamaica and the Caribbean. So there's a particular video up there in which I'm asking for you all to vote by liking the video and send around to your family, friends, everyone for them to like the video by voting.
Right. Yeah. Go and support her and follow her, and go check her out on all the platforms that she mentioned. And thank you, Princess Tia, for being here and being on my podcast. I really appreciate having you and sharing your story and what you've done and being so supportive and motivating other people. I really appreciate having you here, and you're welcome anytime you want. Just let me know and we'll do something else again.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to both of our voices. Blessings to everyone around the world. This is my RP Life. I'm your host, Juan. And please don't forget to check me out on all the platforms Anchor puts me on. And subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, join my Facebook group at My RP Life Family and Friends. And like I even say at the end of my podcast, my beautiful diva Deb is the head admin there. So I love you, baby. God bless you and the family. And thank you again, Princess Tia, for being on my podcast. Blessings to you and your family.
You're most welcome.
Peace out.